Alright guys, so we're finally getting into the panel van to get this gearbox issue fixed. So now that everything's sort of come out in the whitewash and we are where we are, we can sort of fill everything in. So yeah, the flex plate just flew one of those bolt spacers I suppose you call it, and yeah, punched a hole in the bell housing. We're very lucky it didn't do a lot more damage. It could have been a lot worse. It also could have been a lot better considering the Turbo 400 are open bottom where the converter is, so there's like probably a good 160 degrees at the bottom where if it flew down it would have hit nothing. So, you know, both unlucky and lucky all at once I'd say. But regardless, TCI have replaced the flex plate under warranty. Obviously being an SFI flex plate, that's not meant to happen. And they did supply the owner 400, I think it's 495 American dollars, which is about enough to cover the cost of the new bell housing, which we have here as well, which we'll have to cut the old bell housing off the gearbox and bolt the new one on. It gets bolted on the pump cover. So it's about enough to cover the new new bell housing, but obviously not enough to cover any of our labor to have to do all this work. So a bit of a shame considering it's, you know, SFI flex plate. This shouldn't happen. As far as I'm concerned, it really is all on them. But, you know, at least it's better than not getting anything from them. So it is what it is. That's what we're working with. So we're pulling the gearbox out, start cutting this bell housing off and get it sorted. This is our new bell housing to go on. Yeehaw, nice thick boy. Shouldn't have any of these dramas again. Not that we'd hope that, you know, another flex plate would throw another one off anyway, but we'll have a look. We're thinking about just bolting, getting some high tensile bolts and just bolting all the spare ones on the flex plate together. Obviously they're not used for the converters, but if we could just bolt a nut and just bolt them up, that way it's going to eliminate this from possibly happening. And by all accounts, as long as the bolts are all the same length, they're all going to be the same weight, it's going to stay neutrally weighted. So as long as we keep it neutrally weighted, it should be schmick. So we're thinking about doing that just to eliminate the possibility of it happening again. But anyway, that's where we're at. We'll get this sorted, get it back on the dyno. Box is out. That's not supposed to be there.
There's another piece of it just chilling up in the valley that Bo spotted before.
Yeah.
What if I told you the thrill of running a red light, chasing a recent bright memory through a bent pipe? When you get older, some just wanna hang five with the rest of a soldier on, sleeping on the tram line. What's the point if we can't escape the landmine? Sand slides faster each day, one day we can die. We'll just ignore it, let the revs chant. I burn laps around the sun for face first to the campfire.
The big van's pretty much now ready for the dyno. The Rex just installed the bolts, so we're waiting on to bolt all the spare holes in the flex plate up to make sure this doesn't happen again. We don't have the same issue again. So we used, what are they, air? What's the lock type you call
they're
them?
just like I think the bolt head is called a D-lock, and then the nuts are the serrated lock,
yeah,
craft style. So
yeah, they're aircraft serrated style lock nuts and washers, which are obviously
just nuts.
Just nuts, yeah.
Nuts. And then the bolt's also serrated, so that way I've done them up to 100 foot-pounds. So.
Yeah, so anyway, hopefully none of the bolts come loose. But anyway, hopefully no more flex plate weights flying around all over the place. So it's pretty much ready to go back on the dyno now. It's a shame that alternator didn't work, but we'll just charge the battery up, make sure it's fully charged when we start. And if we have to, we'll use a stabilizer to get it through the tune, to finish the tune. We are just gonna finish the tune on the E85 on the boost that it was at. It's probably still going to make close to 900 wheel, but we don't really want to be pushing it just for the sake that it's been here for this long because of issues. The last thing we want to do is kill a gearbox or a diff. You know, this gearbox is rated to 800, that's input. So, you know, if we're looking at 900 wheel, we're already way exceeding the gearbox capacity, which we weren't that worried about. We don't think it's going to be a problem for what we want to do. And we were just going to get 1,000 just for the number and then dial it back. The owner doesn't want to drive it at 1,000 yet, but the 9-inch in the rear is just a stock casing or a stock housing, and we don't know much about the diff either. So, you know, next thing, problems with the gearbox, problems with the diff, just to try and make the number, it's not worth doing. We just want to get it back to him so he can start developing the car at the track and getting it dialed in for grip and everything else. So there's still a lot of track tuning to go with this car, and we just want to get it back to him. last thing we need is to break it and have it here for another 3 months while we wait to fix things. So that's the plan. The boost that it was at on the 98, where it made 700 or 800, just tune it on E85 at that boost and send it on its way for now. Rex also just did an oil and filter change, and much nicer than the last one he did after a first tune. So it's looking awesome. The Torrington bearing's obviously doing its job, and obviously that flex plate's probably, not flex plate, that new converter is probably also helping a great deal. But either way, it's much happier now after that dyno session at 800 horsepower. Mint. So can't ask for much more at the moment. Get it finished off, get it back to the owner. And hopefully this alternator is all right with the charged battery. If not, I don't really know what else we can do. I'll put it to the owner, but I mean, the only other way we can make it work is to just completely change the alternator setup, like the mount. So yeah, changing the accessory drive around. Rightio guys, big van, E85. I only filmed the last run because got the young fella here today, so we're a bit busy, but got the last one on film on the E85. We're looking pretty good. Ended up at a 835 on the E at the same boost as the, what, 790 or something?
795, yeah.
Yeah, on the 98. So because of this combo, the nice big hot side, this cam, everything about this engine, it's not super knock limited. That's why we're not picking up heaps more on the E85. Obviously with more boost. That's the beauty of E. You'll be sweet, but like I already talked about, at this stage, we're not interested in pushing this much further at the moment, just because of what a nightmare it's been. The original plan was to go 1,000 and then just dial it back, but this will do for now. It's all in one piece. It's going home in one piece. You can take it, enjoy it, start developing it at the track. We can always turn it up later. You know, there's no rush. We can try for our ton later on, at a later date, after he's had some fun with the car and developed it a bit, because he still hasn't even freaking heard the thing in real life. Like, it's what it's been. So like, that's how much it's just sort of been one thing after another. So yeah, we just want to get the car back to him. We don't need to break it just to make the number and then have it stuck here for another few months. So that's what we're leaving it at, 835. And yeah, looking forward to getting some track time on this thing and getting it to the track and start looking at how we're going to get it to hook up and all the other stuff. So yeah. Anyway, still having issues with this alternator. Not too sure what we can do about it. Like we talked about, the only way that we're going to be able to fix it is to literally relocate the alternator, which is very hard because it's obviously all been fabricated around where that is placed. So one option I did put to him was potentially a second alternator that's driven off the diff, just to supplement it. At least that means that while it's moving, you'll have extra charge there, which obviously not all the pumps run at idle. You got the second 525 only comes in when it needs to, and you know, you hopefully wouldn't be running too much stuff off the one when it's just at idle or in traffic. But I mean, apart from that, I don't know what else you can do, because where this is, you will physically not be able to fit a bigger bodied alternator. It's gonna have to relocate, or you're gonna have to be able to do something with a alternator that's the standard size. I'm no auto sparky, I don't know a lot about that. I don't know if there's anything they can do, but yeah, unless you can get another kit that sort of puts it way out, and then you'll have to change covers and move your oil filler and yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. Not too sure, but I'll let him sort it out. I'll let him take the car and sort it out. Hopefully come up with some sort of solution for it. And but yeah, happy days. That's it for the van. Iron Brock, finally going home. Happy days, 835. We've still got a few things to sort out. Obviously start going back towards 98 from E, making sure our scalars and everything are right. We're gonna try and get the cruise control working, though I don't think we can with the current sensors we've got set up, but we should hopefully be able to once the dash update comes out, that will then relay information back to the ECU. So we'll see what we can sort out. But yeah, a few more things we wanna do to it before it goes, but as far as the tune and everything else goes, it's sorted. Oil pressure's awesome, engine's happy. This engine and set, like hot side setup and everything is, the way it's going is well and truly good for 1,000. It'd be fine, but not sure about this gearbox and different stuff yet. So we'll wait until he's had some time in it before we go risking it. So there you go. That's the difference between the 98 and the E85. You can see how much earlier it's coming on, how much that extra energy is helping with the spool, get it up there a bit earlier. But yeah, same boost. A little bit extra timing, and yeah, this thing will love some more boost when the time comes, but not today. That's plenty for now. Send it on its way. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, smash like, smash subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out, see you, bye.